So I have an interview, a very brief interview for y'all with Lindsay Shepherd, who came into the national and the international spotlight about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, when audio was released of a 40-minute meeting between her, Nathan Rambukkana, Herbert Pimlott, and Adria Joel, who are all professors and diversity officers at Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada. It all boils down to her showing a 3-minute clip of a Jordan Peterson video, which clip caused a student to voice concern in the Rainbow Centre, which is the LGBTQ etc. room that is specifically dedicated to certain groups on campus. You probably already know the story. You probably already know Lindsay Shepherd. What happened in May was that she was charged with harassment by another student, and that case against her was supposed to be resolved in 48 hours, and it took 4 months for it to be resolved by the institution. One of the conditions of the harassment proceedings was that she was not allowed to share the outcome with anybody. So for better or worse, we get a little bit of detail into what it was like to be in her position over the last year and where she's at now with regards to the different issues that thrust her into the limelight. So here you go. It's Lindsay Shepherd. You graduated? Are you done?
I'm done, but my convocation isn't until next month, so October 27th.
So anything could happen between now and October 22nd?
Well, I have been approved for graduation, so, I mean, they've already sent me an email. I have the email that says I'm approved, but I'm not going to do anything until I have the degree.
What do you mean do anything? Like celebrate?
Yes, and also, I mean, I want to get more information about the complaint. I don't know if that's, like that's who complained.
When did that come
harassment? Out? That was in May.
Really?
You remember, right?
Oh, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. That's perfect. We have so much material on him. He's the one who leaked the he's the one who, did he fabricate the complaint?
Sorry, not the original complaint. This is another complaint.
Oh.
He filed a harassment and discrimination complaint against me.
Okay.
This is public information. That it's because as part of my lawsuit, is named in the statement of claim because his complaint is one of the reasons I decided to sue, because this is just one example, but he said, no, I do not want to go into mediation with Lindsay. I want her to be investigated immediately. And it's like, if you're skipping mediation, it's clear that you have no intention on solving any kind of difference. You just want to get me in trouble, and that's it. So I was like, that was just kind of an example to me of come on, Laurier, you can't just skip mediation because this activist who clearly hates me, yeah. Did you see my tweet about the harassment complaint and how?
In May? No, I can't recall that.
I just tweeted it because he complained in May, but the result came this month, in September.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to tell people, I'm not allowed to tell anyone whether I was found guilty or not guilty, because that would be harassment.
What was the complaint?
I can't say.
You can't even say what you were on trial
harassment
for.
And discrimination.
Just generally, nothing specific. Or you can't specify. Okay.
I just can't say, because if I release any information about him, it would be harassment.
And
more harassment.
And how is him complaining against you not harassment itself, or not an exercise of?
It is. I think it is, but Laurier, the thing is, they told me this would be investigated in 48 hours. Again, this was May 8th. They said, we can investigate this in 48 hours, and we can have the report in 4 weeks. So they told me this was going to take 4 weeks. Yeah. It ended up taking 4 months. Yeah. It took all summer. While I was writing my paper, I always had in the back of my mind, this complaint and what's going to be the outcome. Why am I writing my paper if they're just going to take away my degree, etc. And I think the reason it took so long is because it's so clear that they coordinated their response with lawyers. Like some of the language they use in the investigation summary they gave me, it just mimics my statement of claim. So.
And what was on the line if you were found guilty?
They wouldn't say.
Oh, so you don't know if you would have lost your degree or if you would have been reprimanded or if like a piece of paper would have been issued against you or something?
No, they wouldn't say. They said it could be anything from like a note on my record, or I'd be asked to stay away from, or in a very extreme case, I could like to have my degree taken away. So they like left it open.
And you knew, or you know, what the specifics of what you were being complained against.
Yeah. Yeah, I received a paper, like, copy of the complaint.
And you were told with that, on that piece of paper, that you're not allowed to speak about this.
Well, no, I was accused, like, under policy 6.1, harassment and discrimination, or something 6.1. And then and then they gave me a copy of, like, 6.1, and it says, like, you have to keep confidentiality and all that.
Okay. For perpetuity, or is there like a...
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Or what? Or what else?
Or they won't tell you.
Okay,
they don't tell you what could go wrong.
If you violate this rule after you leave, do you think you'll get sued? Do you have any clue?
I don't really know. Yeah, they just, it's not clear. I maybe could get sued. I don't know.
Like in a civil court, or the school would go after you somehow.
Maybe.
That just seems like a system that's ripe for abuse.
Yeah, and what's kind of interesting is I can try to send you a link to the webpage if I remember which one it was, but it was a webpage on Laurier's website about filing complaints. And then right before the filing complaints information was their like statement on freedom of expression. But like how freedom of expression does not include hate.
Yeah.
Here's how to file a complaint.
Huh.
I'll try to find it.
Do they define hate? Or is hate in the eye of the beholder?
Hate is in the eye of the beholder.
Huh.
The page is counseling resources and supports available to students. Here's the link. I sent it. And that one, at the bottom, it's like reporting harassment and discrimination, including transphobia.
Wait, and that's explicit?
Yeah, including transphobia. And then at the very top, though, they talk about, I want to remind us that, like, freedom of expression includes diverse perspectives and does not provide license for intolerance and hate.
Wow. Wait, and this is for all students. This isn't found on the what's it called, the Rainbow Centre. This is for all students.
This is Laurier website, yeah.
And they really explicitly put forward the LGBTQ, etc.
Yes.
Stuff. It's right. It's front and center. That just, it seems, I don't know. Is that the big part of Laurier's culture, or is that just something that kind of like was under the surface and then came to light when your situation?
I think it's with my situation because the trans lobby were like very angry that they never got an apology. Yeah. I don't know if you remember, they were demanding an apology. They never got it. And
for what? An apology for what, though? They never specified for what.
The president never acknowledged all the transphobia happening on campus. And so I think the president is like dedicating a lot of resources to them. Oh. And maybe this is just one of the things that they wanted, was like some sort of way to direct people on how to complain. But also, I've barely been on campus this year, like since September, because I'm done. But when I was there like earlier this month, there were posters all over about the sexual and gendered violence policy, which is what I was accused under.
Yeah.
And then the Rainbow Centre, like they also made a post about it. And then they were like, I'm pretty sure they're just encouraging people to like want this policy to stick around because it's going to be under review. And then also, if you remember, the president said, like, yeah, this policy is so overreaching, we're going to be looking at it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so all of them are trying to be like, yeah, we love this policy, like accuse people under this policy.
Wow. Any news on Rambukkana and Pimlott?
Oh, they're still gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
On medical leave or whisper quiet leave or nobody knows what leave? They haven't been around.
They're just gone. Since December, they're gone.
And Joelle?
She was removed from the website.
Boom.
Like, she was a temporary position, though, so who knows? Yeah. But with university administration, like, usually you move up. Usually you get moved around within the university once you're hired.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, and with Rambukkana and Pimlott, I looked up if they're teaching any classes this semester, and they're not. And at first, I felt bad for Rambukkana and Pimlott because I thought, like, oh, I've kind of, like, ruined their lives. But now I'm glad that they're exposed.
Why?
Because
what is it about what they did to you that really irks you?
They're just, it's like in the university and the arts departments, it's like the losers win.
Huh.
Like the losers who can't handle anything.
Huh.
They took over. And they all just love being losers, and it's just really weird.
Wow. Huh. And then
that's mean, I know,
but then they teach other people how to be losers. I mean, by losers, I'm reading victims.
Yeah. That's
their way out of facing their own incompetence.
I don't know, because like a lot of people say like, oh, we shouldn't even have these departments in the university and all that, but like I don't think we need to take away gender studies, communication studies. I know they're infected departments, but I think it's better like maybe just let students choose if they want to go into it or not. Like don't explicitly defund it or take it away. But then also the trouble is that like universities are getting easier and easier to get into because they go into these programs. You don't need high marks, so there's always going to be people going into them, so it's hard.
Yeah. Do you find yourself trying to counter them or expose them? You use the word expose, but I'm wondering if like there's to argue against them or to prove them wrong, not just expose their tactics, but to prove them wrong.
I think, though, that most people know that they're wrong. It's because I just imagine, like, all the people, you know, especially, like, the old people sitting at home, like, watching the news when my stuff was happening, and they are probably, like, muttering at their TVs, being like, oh, God, so fucking ridiculous. But, like, they're not the ones who are Twitter warriors and, like, expressing their opinions all over the place. And so you only get the Twitter warriors who get heard when there's actually, like, just millions or, like, hundreds of thousands of disgruntled people who think this is ridiculous, but they're not, I don't know, maybe they're not in positions of power. I don't know.
I mean, that's the audience that I think that you've tapped into, and that's the audience that I've tapped into too by speaking of this stuff. And it seems like we have their backing, but at the same time, like for me, I do believe in education. I act like an intellectual, for better and for worse, and so I need to try to figure out how we can return the education system back to something that has more integrity. Are you going to stay in education, you think?
I think I'd probably have to wait a couple years because I'm not going to do a PhD right now because I would not get hired, and so I don't see the point.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying just move out of Canada, get a PhD somewhere else, and you will get hired somewhere else. But I'm not willing to leave Canada, so.
Do they say that because the PhDs in Canada are basically worthless, or that they don't lead to?
Because this country, it's hard to explain the depth of like the diversity is our strength message here.
Oh, really?
And it's not just about multiculturalism, it's about like gender and sexual diversity.
Okay.
And if you don't subscribe to it,
Okay.
or if you like, maybe you can be quiet about it and not necessarily say anything, but you can't be against any facet of it. And I'm considered to be against it.
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah.
And that bars you from progressing in this in that institution. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the academic sphere in Canada is like pretty small. Like, it's not like we have that many universities.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself having compassion for them, for somebody like?
No.
No.
No. No, he literally just wanted to get me. And I don't have a problem that he's trans. I don't care that he's trans. I just don't like his personality. And that's the thing that happens here, right? Is their trans identity comes before their personality, and it's like, no, you still have a personality, and I don't like your personality.
Yeah. Did they ever get to the bottom of who issued the original complaint a year ago?
Well, I don't know if you saw, there was an article that came out in the Globe and Mail in like earlier this year. I can't remember what month. Mm-hmm. And it was the reporter had gotten 330 pages of documents from Laurier about my situation.
Really?
Yeah. She like filed a FOI request or whatever.
Yeah.
And like basically all of it was redacted. Like basically all of it. But one thing they found was like an email from someone to someone about me. And it said like, I can't believe Lindsay just won't let this go. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Of course I'm not going to let it go. So yeah, but I'm hoping through the lawsuit, like one of the reasons for the lawsuit is that we can get some documents, see what they were saying, and hopefully it won't be redacted.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be a way to pressure that redaction out. But
yeah.
Clever people. I think they're very successful losers for a reason.
Mm-hmm. What's the reason?
Because they're clever as fuck. They know how to sit through endless meetings and game the system.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for example, this is like confidential. I was found